In this video, I want to talk about object interaction. We've talked about object interaction in the past with our Greenfoot games. If you remember the 3 videos from Michael Kohling that we looked at in his series on Greenfoot programming, he talked about passing around references to our objects so that other objects could communicate with them. And we're going to do the same thing now in Java, in NetBeans, and we're going to learn how to make objects interact and do things with each other. To begin with, though, I want to create a variable that I want to allow access to. I want to create a field for my dog, or for all dogs, actually. Private, it's going to be a Boolean variable, and we're going to call it groomed. Groomed, 2 O's, not 2 M's. Groomed, and we're going to set it to false. So by default, when we get a dog, it's not going to be groomed. And since I've created this, I'm not going to add groom to the constructor. We'll just assume when a new dog is created that it's not groomed. So I'm not going to add anything to its constructors, but I will add getters and setters for the groomed Boolean. So I'm going to go down here and put insert code. I'm going to say getter and setter, and I'm going to pick my Boolean variable, my field called groomed. I'm going to say generate. And notice what it does with a Boolean. Instead of set groom and get groomed, we do get a set groomed that allows us to set the dog's grooming to true or false. But the get is actually called is groomed here. Okay, so is a good variable name for a Boolean. Starts with is, makes sense. Is it groomed, true or false, right? So it does that slightly different, but the idea is the same. This lets us see if the dog has been groomed, and this one lets us set whether the dog has been groomed or not. So let's make use of this. Where does a dog go to get groomed? They go to a spa. So let's create a new class called spa, doggy spa. Let's do new Java class. I'm just going to, let's call it dog spa. This is the dog spa class. And what kind of fields might a dog spa have? Private int. Oh, they have a telephone number, so you can call and make an appointment for your dog. And I need my T in there. They would probably need, let's do, they need an address, right? That'll be a string. So let's make a constructor that lets us set the telephone number and the address for the spa. There it is. I want to add, let's do another constructor. We're going to do overloaded constructors. Just to make things easier on us for this demo, because we really don't care about telephone numbers and addresses on this demo. So I'm going to do another constructor. I'm not going to select anything. So it's just an empty constructor. Just to simplify our code, when I create a dog spa, I don't have to supply it fake telephone numbers and fake addresses. So our other fields here, we need getters and setters for those. We'll do getter and setter for both of those things. Okay. We should also have a toString in our class. So I'll insert code and I'll do the toString. I'll include both of the fields. And there's our class for our dog spa. Save that, Control S to save. Never saved my dog. Let's make another method. So before our toString, but after our getters and setters, let's make a method called groom, because our dog spa is going to groom dogs. it's going to return a void, and it's going to groom. Excuse me. Okay. And this is where the object interaction is going to come in. Our spa is going to groom dogs, right? So when we say call the spa's groom method, we need to tell it what dog we want to groom. So we're going to put a parameter in here. We're going to groom a dog, and we'll use the variable dog in this parameter. So somebody will pass in the dog that they want to have groomed. Now, we've done that before. We've passed in ints when we want to add a couple ints. We've passed in ints. We've passed in strings. This is really no different. It's a parameter that lets us pass in a dog. So actually, it's passing in a reference to a dog. And then I can do things like access the dog's fields, because now the spa has a reference to the dog. So I can say, for my grooming method, what's it going to do? Let's just say it's going to print out grooming, put a space in there, and concatenate on. Remember, the variable name we're going to be using in this class is dog. So I'll say dog, and I'm going to call the dog's getName method. So it's going to print out a message to us that it's grooming the dog, and it's going to tell us which dog it's grooming by getting its name. And then we're going to set our dog set groomed, and we're going to set it to true. Okay. So when somebody passes in a dog to our spa, they drop their dog off at the spa, we're going to print out that we're grooming the dog, and then we're going to set the dog's groomed value to true. So let's go over and try this. I've already got a dog. I'm printing out information about the dog. Name is Fido. Its age is 3. Let's create up here a dog spa. Called we'll just do a simple name. We'll call it spa equals new dog spa. Okay. So we have our new dog spa created. I didn't give it an address and a telephone number because we're really not concerned with that now. I have my dog. So now that I have my dog, let me get my dog groomed. So I can say spa.groom, and I pass it in a reference to my dog. Sorry. And what's my dog? My dog, the variable name for the dog in this case is dog1. Groom dog1. Hey spa, groom dog1. Right? So it's going to call the groom method. It's going to pass it the dog I want groomed. Before we do that, do another out. And let's print out for our dog. Let's just print out so we're going to print out is groomed. Then we're going to have the spa groom the dog, and then we'll print that out again. All right, so we created a spa, we created a dog, print out some information about our dog. I'll move that up there with that. Then we'll print out whether our dog is groomed, and by default, dogs aren't groomed when we create a new dog. They're not groomed. Then we'll send our dog to the spa to get groomed, and then we'll print out whether or not the dog's groomed again. So let's go ahead and run this. So there's our dog created. His name is Fido. He's 3 years old. False, he has not been groomed. We sent him to the spa, and when we called this method, that method printed out that they are grooming Fido. They used the dog's name. And then we print out information about our dog. Has he been groomed now? And now that value is set to true. Let's create a second dog. Dog, call this my dog, equals new dog. My dog's name is Sienna, and she is 5. And I'll go ahead, duplicate that line. Except this time I'll print out the information about my dog. And let's do this one too. Print out my dog.isGroom for our second dog. And we'll call the spa, and we'll have it groom my dog. Right? And we'll hit run. All right. So dog's name is Fido, age 3, and a dog named Sienna. Neither of them have been groomed when they're created. We send Fido, which was dog 1, to the spa. Fido gets groomed. We send Sienna, is the my dog variable. We send that dog to the spa. And when we print them out, both of the dogs get groomed. So we have interaction here. Our dog and our spa are interacting with each other. And we get that interaction by passing references from one object to the other. Okay. We pass a reference to a dog to the spa. Now you're going to use something similar in this in the assignment. You're doing the arcade. You have a terminal, and a terminal, you may need to pass it a card. So that's like you're sticking your card into the terminal, and the terminal can do things like add credits to the card. It might have a method to add credits, or a method to subtract credits, or a method to convert credits to tickets, or maybe you'll pass it 2 cards and it'll take the credits from one card and put them on the other card. And so you'll pass references this way by passing objects as parameters into the methods of that terminal class. All right, so hopefully that gets you on the right track.